everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Jeff Has Cool Friends, the 100th episode, 4-year anniversary, spectacular extravaganza, whatever we want to call it. I know it's a great episode because I've already recorded the segments and they are amazing. So I'm very excited to bring back 3 different groups of guests here, and they are amazing. First up, I am joined by my puppet boys, the incredible James Wojtal Jr. from episode 82 and Kirk Thatcher from 85. These are 2 incredible men who have worked with each other, but have not actually seen each other in quite some time. So this was a reunion for them as well of sorts. So that's really, really great. The next segment will join episode 24's Dave Perillo, who you might recognize as the artist of the cartoon Jeff that you see across a lot of my merch and Patreon and Instagram and all that. And the incredible Bob Fingerman, 2 men who follow and love each other's work, but had never actually met before until this episode. And I have got a banger of a 3-fer at the end. I am bringing my child stars coming at you at a segment with episode 26 is Charlie Talbert, who you might know as Angus from Angus, among a million other things, which we talk about. Episode 35 is Ethan Lawrence from a bunch of British stuff that everybody loves. And I'm kidding when I say that because, you know, obviously Bad Education, incredibly important. He was in Magic Mike's Last Dance. Lots of really, really great stuff there, and including a great podcast and just an absolute delight of a human being. And episode 50's Nick Cowan of Surf Ninjas. And everybody check your Fantastic Four branded Pop-Tarts for a little surprise. But please enjoy this episode. Follow these gentlemen. I do drop all of their Instagrams, both. I spell them out in the episode, and they should be in the write-up of this episode as well. Please enjoy this one. It was a real blast theming it and putting it together. And look, if you guys like these episodes, let me know. Leave a comment. I can go on to new guests at any time, but it seems like the feedback I've been getting is that you're really loving this sort of stick them in a mayonnaise jar, shake them together and see what happens kind of vibe of the reunion episodes. And I'll let them ride for a while if you want. I have no problem with that. It's a blast. So please enjoy this. Follow these people. If you are not over on patreon.com/JeffMay and you want to get these episodes early with uncensored episodes with bonus content, please come on over. We're happy to see it. It's very affordable and we got a lot of stuff on there. Great shows being dropped as well. So yeah, check it out. Folks, I am very excited to introduce this segment. I have 2 absolute puppet all-stars joining me today. And what's really, really fun is these guests are 2 cool friends that I met in totally different scenarios and yet know each other. Weird, crazy. Yeah. Everybody, please give a big shout out to the amazing Kirk Thatcher. Yay.
Woo. Thank you.
And James Wojtal Jr. James.
How's it going?
Freak out just now trying to remember how to say your name.
Yeah, that's it. Wojtal. It all works.
Yeah, what did your parents say? Wojtal or Wojtal?
Family, they always say Wojtal.
His family actually says, we told you to stop calling us.
His family,
family
pronounce
they say that to me too.
Wojtal. Yes.
Yeah.
Wojtal is what I got in high school.
Yeah. Of course.
Like, I always wondered if it would be worse having like a nearly impronounceable name like you have or a name that's a thing. So people just make fun of you for that all the time like I have.
Right. Yeah.
Because substitute teachers, they probably just had their brains shorted out.
I have a friend whose last name is Gay. He's a guy, Brian Gay.
Yeah, he is.
I'm like, dude, high school, junior. He goes, yeah, don't even. Yeah, too easy. A friend of mine's last name is Dicker, and he became Rodney Dangerfield's business manager. And upon their meeting, Rodney said, "What's your name, kid?" He goes, "Lane." Lane what? Lane Dicker. Yeah, too easy.
I used to get every single substitute teacher would be like Jeff May or May not. And I'd be like, "This is why you're a sub."
Yeah. All right,
guys.
Yes.
It has been a little while since I have spoken to you on a microphone before, so I just wanted to check in, welcome you back. We're celebrating our 100 and whateverth episode after 4 years, having guests come back and chill. And so I'm just wondering what you guys have been up to. Kirk, what's new in your world, bud?
Well, I finished 3 years, 2 seasons on a show called. Well, I was doing this last time. I was directing on a Nickelodeon animated series called
I think you had started doing
Max
it.
in the Midnight. So yeah, we did. They're calling it 4 seasons, so it's 40 episodes. I did 14, so I did about a third of them, and that is done. It's started to air on Nickelodeon in the fall. They're doing it weird. They're showing 10 and then taking 6 months off and then showing another 10, but it's sequential, so you just have to sit and wait like Game of Thrones or something. I don't know why they're doing that to kids. Like, they could show it all first 20, but they want to make it a thing anyway.
Maybe show the first 10, gauge the interest,
Maybe,
make the toys.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then release those next 10 so you can sell the damn toys.
It's Paramount, Nickelodeon, which is Paramount, which is part of the big deal with Skydance. So it's anybody's bet. I mean, we technically could get a third season, but all bets are off till the Paramount deal is done and they know what's going to happen with Nickelodeon. And then I just I literally left that in end of March, early April, and walked into writing a thing for Lego, a streaming movie. Yeah, it's about. I can't say much more about it, but it's a project for Lego.
I mean, that's pretty cool. He's like, we're doing Lego Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah, God,
it's going to be a whole interactive.
Signed an NDA.
That would be great.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to Comic-Con and I'm doing Star Trek Las Vegas. So I'm doing a couple cons and might be moving up to the Pacific Northwest. So that's my life. It's keeping me busy.
Oh, hey, that's a life change.
Yeah,
I've wanted to move there since about year 2000, and just it kind of seemed like the stars are aligning.
Kirk, you do have rides a penny farthing around town energy.
I do.
So I could see that. Like I don't
have my monocle, but I do own one.
I could 100% see Kirk Thatcher riding down like the streets of Portland or something with just like one of those big wheel bikes.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of keeping Portland weird.
Yeah, just you and like Silverman playing a tuba or something like
there
that.
You go. Flaming tuba. Yeah, we have to learn how to ride unicycles.
Yeah, one of the things I love about you being like, yeah, I'm working on a thing for Lego is like the best part of that is Lego encompasses the universe. So there's no way someone could be like, oh, is it this property? It's like,
yeah.
It could be literally anything.
Lego Avengers. Yeah, no.
Yeah. They're like, it's like Ocean Spray putting cranberry in everything. You're like, Lego is in everything now.
It's shocking. Actually, one of the most interesting things about working with them is you come up with an idea for the script. They could go, no, that's in one of our other franchises. I didn't realize they have like 10, covering from little kids, My Little Pony kind of universe, all the way to like teen girl, like Mean Girl kind of, or Bratz kind of world. They really have a huge.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that, and this is like kind of an interesting idea of like, we think of like the entertainment that we consumed as being the big deal, right? Like when you think about like, oh, like I watched this show as a kid and it meant a lot to me and everything like that. And then when you get older, and unfortunately it is a little cynical, but you go, oh, those were toy commercials.
Oh yeah, well,
I was watching like when you see like people complain about like, oh, this He-Man movie's not gonna. It's like, dude, it was a commercial for toys.
70s,
I remember
80s, yeah.
The mind-blowing thing that hit me recently was the movie Cars.
Yeah,
it had a pretty good box office, right?
It did really well, and then the second one did even better. Yeah,
sure. The merch sales
made 4 times what the movie.
It is. I believe from merch sales, if you add merch sales, Cars is like the most profitable movie ever made.
Yeah, I think it's up there with Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess
the dollars. Yeah, they're pretty close. But yeah, it was less obvious that, but the toys, and that's why they kept making them.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't even know if. And in my head, it's like a secret universe. You ever watch like a Hellboy or something like that, and they go to some weird place, and you're like, I didn't know this was on Earth.
Right.
Like it's kind of that where you're like sitting there and you're like, I didn't know they were selling this much Cars. I've never seen a Cars shirt in my life.
Well, there's little boys and girls every day born need a car. It's like that recyclable audience. Every 3 years, you got a whole new audience that wants to buy a car.
That's why Christmas movies with Santa do so well, because every 5 years, a new crop of kids who believe in Santa. So, James, I'm trying to remember, what's the last time we worked together? Was it?
The last time we worked together
was Muppets Tonight.
Was probably in like 98 when you directed those bumpers for the Odyssey Channel at the Carriage House.
So right out,
But the last time we saw each other was when I was in LA working on Crank Anchors, and I got us all together to have lunch.
So, I remember that.
But Crank Anchors, was that like Crank Anchors, like 1999 Crank Anchors, or that new batch?
No, it was the last season they shot post, just as we were coming out of the pandemic. So
okay.
So I
didn't work on that season.
Just wrapping up a gig at the.
I worked on.
Yeah, I did. I was the on set.
Yeah. The last season I directed that, the only season was done in like 2007, 2008. It was the only season they had green screen backgrounds and sort of 2D backgrounds. So we shot a lot faster.
When you're working on a show like that, where there's the prank calls and everything like that, do you ever interact with the artists that are doing the calls ever? Or is it just you get a recording and then they're like, all right, make a David Allen Greer puppet and then do
the puppeteers have more to do with that than I did. But not even then, not really. The comedians record their bits and send them in, and they really don't ever come and see the set. This was also during pandemic, so tight restrictions on set visits. But in my world of it, I was there to service the week to week. They brought me in to be on set puppet builder. So Monday morning, we'd have a production meeting. I'd get all the designs for the week. We need this, and this on these following days, and just go to town. So I started, to me, it was June when I got out there. My first day, I needed 2 chickens, a fox, and a camel in the next week and a half, and just kept going.
Did you work out? Did you work out someone's shop, or did you set up your own shop?
No, I was inside the studio. I was on set, literally, like. So we were shooting in Sun Valley at the studio there, and they had all the soundstage stuff set up, all the puppet sets, and then they had the costuming section, and then I was right next to them, kind of kitty corner in my own little cubicle area, private office, building puppets.
Okay.
Did you have to go and source all your material? I mean,
that's what I was going to ask, actually.
Yeah, they had stuff, thankfully. Lisa Davis, you know her, Kirk, right?
I just saw her about a month ago.
There you go. So she was in charge of the costume department, but she was also kind of art directing our stuff. And she had a bunch of things already there ready to go.
So fur
and Robin Sims and everybody was there. They had Rachel Burson was the one doing it before me. She left to do, I think, Waffles and Mochi. So I took over on that for her and just finished out the rest of the season.
Nice.
That's great.
It was fun. That was my first time working in California. My first time being there, not on a layover. How
did you handle being in our states, you tough new badass?
It was fine. It was just like it was a weird time to be there. Everything was still shut down for the most part.
Right. At least you got to enjoy the glory of Sun Valley.
Oh, the glory. Yeah, Sun Valley was fine. And I stayed in an area, unfortunately, that was devastated. I was staying in Altadena for the first month.
Oh.
And I checked in on that place, and that's not on the map anymore, unfortunately.
Out of curiosity, I looked at real estate in Altadena, Pasadena, and there are empty lots, literally with burnt trees and a standing chimney, selling for $1.2 million.
Oh my God!
People talk about California real estate. A dirt lot that was burnt down is $1.2 million.
I mean, you got to figure you're probably not going to get another burn. They're probably
that is what the question is. Are you probably going to never get insurance?
Yeah,
I was reading an article saying, now we're going off track, but that's
what this show's about.
Yeah, in 10 to 15 years, you will not be able to get insurance in Los Angeles or in a lot of California between earthquakes and fires and floods.
Unbelievable.
Well, with global warming, if you believe it or not, but at least with droughts, and it's just like, wow. I mean, there's another reason to move out to the Pacific Northwest. There's lots of water.
Yeah.
For now, yeah.
Well, it was cool though. I stayed there, and then I moved to North Hollywood and another Airbnb for part of it, and then I finished out the season crashing at my cousin's house. She's a music supervisor for film and TV, and has a place not far from Beverly Hills, and I stayed at her place. And then while I was with her, she went to Boston to music supervise the Whitney Houston biopic.
Why you just like naming all the cities I've lived in? Is that
you were? Wow, I didn't know anybody out there when I was there.
Also, you were in North Hollywood, and you knew me on the internet.
Wow.
Did I know you on the
Wow.
internet? I did, but I don't think we hadn't connected at that point.
I bet
don't
you
think
were
we
one
messaged
street
you.
away. Yeah, it was like 2022, you said, right?
It's working.
20.
Yeah, I feel
21.
like, I feel
Is
like
that
you
when
were.
we were shooting, or no, were we shooting Haunted Mansion in 20 or 21? I forget, all blends together.
I think it
21, that's
premiered
21.
in 21, didn't
It
it?
couldn't have been 20. Yeah, we were developing it in 20, which kind of put the kibosh on stuff. And then I think we shot it in 21. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I have a question. James,
Yes.
real quick, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Well, I have been at the Henson Creature Shop in New York for the last few months.
Oh, great.
And I'm actually wrapping up this week. We're just finishing up season 56, week 6 of the Sesame season. We're shooting some stuff this week at their satellite studio in Manhattan. And I'm going to wrangle on Wednesday. Today, I'm cleaning my desk up, and then I'm going to sort through boxes that have to go back to storage. And
is Eddie Christie involved, or is he retired?
No, Ed's retired. He's up in the Cape. But Rollie's here.
Oh, give her a big.
Here, Jeff. We can walk through the shop real quick.
We can. I mean, the video. We're not posting the video.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good.
I'm just gonna let Kirk say hi to Rollie.
Yeah, let's do that. We have a new guest on here on this. I can't believe this.
Hey, Rollie.
I can't believe I didn't approve this.
Put that in, and say hi to Mr. Thatcher. Say hi, Kirk.
Hi, Rollie.
Oh my God, how are you?
I'm very fuzzy, as you can tell. I'm good.
What are you up to?
I'm writing a Lego thing, a Lego TV special.
Oh, cool.
We're recording a podcast.
I've been doing animation, and so yeah, I'm writing a Lego thing.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Say hi, Jeff.
And I'm Jeff. Thanks for coming on my podcast. I'll get your contact info from James so we can add you as a special guest. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, that was fun.
She's always been so sweet. Can she hear me now?
No.
She's
the worst.
I will say one thing great about the Muppets and even Star Trek and to a large degree the Star Wars franchise. All the jerks had been kind of written out or had been excised from the franchise before I got there. So, I mean, and Muppets was one of the it had been around 30 years when I started there.
Yeah.
Wait, weren't you in a movie with Captain James T. Kirk?
I was.
That's an even funnier weird connection that Kirk and I have, Jeff, is the guy who used to work with us at the Carriage House in New York where we used to shoot things for Muppets, this guy Vash Potenza, was also in a Star Trek film. He played the young Spock.
Oh, Babby Spock.
Yeah, like Baby Spock. Like, what was
Baby
he like?
Spock.
Like 8 or something? Yeah.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
Star Trek 3 when he was growing up. Yeah.
Nice. That's
all these weird tendrils of things.
It is so funny. Like, there'll be times where I'll be like, I know you guys through, like, I know Kirk through Jen Muro and stuff like that. And I'll go to a party where they're all at, and it's just all these different branches of my friendships in different corners of the party.
Showbiz is small, but puppet show business is really
puppet business. Yeah, I know, because I think one of the big ones is like the CBLDF party at Comic-Con. I'll see just a million different people there. James, come on out for Comic-Con.
We'll have to do that sometime. Anyway, so we're wrapping it up. But before we wrapped up Sesame, I was also doing refurb work for the Museum of the Moving Image. So they just put on display a bunch of vintage puppets from way back.
What was the refurb? I put little peepers on all the Muppets.
No, they were the foam decays.
That was my question. Are you just basically taking the shape and then just rebuilding it with current foam, or?
Well, we're doing it with archival materials that'll last a little longer. So we use the new foam. It's for like upholstery on chairs outside. It's a very stiff batting. We can, if the pattern exists, we can adapt the pattern from the foam onto that. We have to sew it all together, build a wire armature, and then put it back together. And then you don't want to use like barge, and you don't want to use anything that will create a chemical off gas. So we have archival glue that is approved by the museum, and you can use hot glue. Yeah,
because that's inert. I remember there was a whole thing about Bean Bunny on the Twitter when Twitter was not just overrun by politics and porn, And someone said, are you going to bring Bing Bunny back? I said, well, they'd have to be like not as a cameo because the puppet is dust. And people got so angry, like funny angry, became a Kirk Thatcher killed Bean Bunny. I said, no, that fur your hand's sweating in it just rots over time and become literally they fall apart. They literally.
And he's got a foam latex skull. He's got a foam latex head. And
I said it literally turns to dust.
Yep.
And people got very upset.
It
is the truth. I mean, the ones I opened up that were from 1967 and hadn't been used since then, the foam, like normally it's a crumbly powder. This was like a dust. It was literally a pile of dust.
Yeah, there's old makeups and creatures from Star Wars, the original that they had at ILM when I started there, and this was only 5 or 6 years after Star Wars was made, and they were already crunchy. Mm-hmm. And do you know Tom Spina? He does. Oh yeah. I figured you would. So yeah, he does great stuff, restoring and then casting the maquettes, and he's got to do a lot of that, like taking things that are literally you touch it and they just go. I did a gig for him about 7 years ago when one of the DC superhero shows, the one about time travel on Channel 11 on CW, whatever it is. Flash.
No, not that one. The other one, Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, that show.
Legends of Tomorrow. They had there was a character called Bebo. He was a big purple blue teddy bear, and I built about 25 of these things for cast gifts for Tom Spina.
Right. Wow. What does skiff stand for? I keep hearing it for a skiff.
Oh, I don't know.
Skiff, like a.
Oh, you say skiff or gift? Cast gift.
Gift. Cast gift.
Oh, I think you said a skiff, and I've heard of this term skiff. Like you're doing a skiff.
Isn't that like a small boat?
Well, it can be a small boat,
but
or a pallet of things.
I think it's an acronym for like I don't know.
They use it in government. It's used in government. They have to go to a special skiff room where there's
secure. Yeah. That's what I've been hearing.
I want to know who your favorite Muppets are. That's like my like who are your favorite Muppets?
Well, I want to ask Jay, who are your favorite to build? If you built, like, is there one you go?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, fine. My question.
I like both of those questions.
I'm gonna punch up your question.
I always love the Frackles. So those are my favorite things to refurb and build. And
they're kind of easy.
You passed the one that I built in Muppet Segment Haunted Mansion.
I forget their name.
Mo has become an unofficial character.
That's right, Mo Frackle.
He's the only one with an actual name.
Well, for me, it's like there's to write for, to design, and to to write. I love Pepe because I helped create him, and he's just and Gonzo. I mean, there's a reason that Muppet Haunted Mansion just Pepe and Gonzo.
Of course.
And then I love design-wise. I mean, Bunsen and Beaker are pretty amazing in that they're a circle and a tube.
Yeah, it's a hot dog shaped man and a hamburger shaped man, right?
Yeah, well, not even.
And they're very emblematic of the early designs of the characters, which were very graphic and very simple.
Jim was great. He wasn't a great artist in terms of like his drawings were really simple, but man, he communicated and just the early, like you said, the stylization and the graphic simplicity of the early Muppets, particularly those two, always kind of blows me away.
Yeah, it really is like a conservation of details that lead to monumentally expressive characters.
A distillation. It shows you how much the puppeteers bring. I remember when you get a new Muppet writer and they say Piggy turns and flutters her eyelashes, and you're like, she can't do that. And they're like, no, I've seen her. Like, and you're like, that's Frank Oz's hand just going like this, and it looks like
It's the magic of it being brought to life.
Yeah. And here's another interesting thing, James, I want to ask you. I find when I do conventions and stuff that autistic people, adults and kids, love the Muppets more. I mean, an average person loves The Simpsons.
Yeah. And I think it's very true. Noel experienced that with Bear.
Yes. Yeah. Noel, I've talked
about an enormous fan base of autistic spectrum kids.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
We actually, the last couple of years here at the shop in New York, I guess there probably is a program that supports it, but we've had a few people on the spectrum kind of as like a once a week kind of intern position.
Nice.
helping do small things in the shop.
I love that so much.
Organizing drawers and stuff. And we've got a guy right now who's very sweet, very, very kind, and loves the characters and knows all about it. I mean, it's interesting. And I've experienced that lesser. I don't do much convention stuff because puppet builders, they don't know who we are.
Yeah.
But I've done them with Noel and helped out on a few. And you do have a large number of people who are clearly on that spectrum and different, but their eyes just brighten when they see these characters.
And my theory is because of the distillation and the simplicity, they can read them better. They can read the complicated human face.
Yeah.
In other words, when a puppet goes like, it's smiling or screaming. And that's easily picked up by people who can't read facial cues. And I think that's why it resonates with them so strongly. They can read, quote unquote, a Muppet. And I think it creates this love for them because they feel more connected to them in a weird way.
I think a benefit too is that oftentimes Muppets do clear motion. And oftentimes you can say what they're doing while
you have to because they don't do anything.
Well, it's it's kind of on a similar vein. One of the best educational tools for people that have a hard time reading is comic books, because oftentimes there are expressions drawn with a word bubble. So that allows somebody to learn how to pick up context in reading. And so there are certain young reader comics that are designed specifically to help children learn to read by using, which is why young comic readers tend to be really good readers as they grow up, which I think is really kind of awesome.
But really bad dancers for some reason. It's just weird.
I think it's probably because of all the comics.
They just sit and read. They're not getting
out. Yeah. Or else you got to dance like a Muppet.
That's how I did. I was like a whirling dervish. I just kind of went all over the place.
Yeah, I mean there's a market for that. Right?
You got to go to the right club. That's all.
Muppet, save the last Muppet dance.
Dance club. That would be actually fun. Yeah, it's the opposite of swing, where it's like left foot, right foot, spin and turn. It's just like
it's just one person holding another, spinning in circles, making sarcastic comments.
So now,
exactly.
Dream property. There's Muppets Christmas Carol, Muppets Treasure Island, and stuff. What non-Muppet property would you like to have a Muppets version of, like a book or so it's like Muppets, I'll say the reference I did before, Muppets Grapes of Wrath,
right.
Like what would be a cool Muppet?
I've always wanted to do a Muppet Western. I pitched it after Haunted Mansion, and I heard that they started to, I said, look, because you're Disney, you got to build it around something you already own. Build around Big Thunder Mountain. And then I heard people were playing with it, but Jerry Jewell and I wanted to do a Western back in the 90s.
That would have been great.
Muppet Tombstone.
Yeah. Well, without doing, my idea was Kermit. There's a famous movie, I think it's Destry Rides Again, but it's about a sheriff who won't use a gun because he doesn't believe that guns solve problems. I'm like, that's Kermit. He's the new sheriff. He's a gun. You could have so much fun with Muppet bad guys, Muppet good guys. One of the things I wanted to do is Bunsen and Beaker there, and
running a saloon.
They're flower arrangers, and they come out and they're like dudes, with top hats and bow ties, and they set up a florist shop. But during a storm, part of the sign blows down, so it says, because they were from Texas, so it's Texas Flower Rangers, and the letters come off, so it says Texas Rangers. So they think Bunsen and Beaker are the Texas Rangers. Kermit's the sheriff who won't use a gun. And, the piggy's the bar that owns the saloon, and it writes itself.
I mean, there's you can definitely see whoever your villain's going to be. You can see Sweetums behind him as that enforcer character or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting Liam Neeson to be the bad guy. And then, the other Muppets, Uncle Deadly and all that would be the bank owner. I mean, it's so much fun to just brainstorm.
Yeah. God, that's really fun.
With that premise, but I'm kind of.
Oh God! Now I got to think of one that's that good. Oh Lord!
You don't have to, James. You could just do. You can be yourself, and it'll be as good because it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I just had 30 years to think about it, so.
Yeah, this is true, and you've been doing the writing thing more than I do. A weird time travel epic would be fun because you could have them go through different.
Oh, like the Muppet Time Machine.
Yeah, something, prehistoric times. You get to build some Muppet dinosaurs, and they can go to ancient Greece, and then they can go to Rome, or they can go wherever.
You're just trying so hard not to say, and then they go to the Old West. You're trying so
No.
hard not
Stay
to
out
say
of the
that.
Old West.
Well,
Well, just remake Bill and Ted with Muppets.
Bill and Ted, or
There you
Mr.
go.
Sherman and Mr. Peabody in the Wayback.
There you go. Yeah.
Did you guys ever see that movie, the Peabody and Sherman?
I know a guy who worked on some of that. I think he might have worked on the animated series that followed.
It's great.
Yeah.
Because I was through DreamWorks. I was a mommy blogger when it went right at the time when it came out. So the two movies that I watched like right in succession at junkets was that, and then Muppets Most Wanted. So then I got to interview a Muppet right after I saw that one. So
who'd you interview?
Constantine, the world's most dangerous frog.
Yes, Constantine.
Yes, so weird talking to a Muppet. It's insane.
Some actors, Bill Shatner had a big problem with it when he cameoed on Muppets.
Did he?
Well, not really. I mean, he just kept looking down at Frank Oz and going, "This is so weird. Like, he's talking, but we talked to a doll." You know, it was weird that.
What am I doing?
Like everyone else just gets it, and they talk to him like, we just would say if they had it, just talk to them like you're talking to a person. Just look at their eyes, and they're like, "Okay." I got to run because I'm very important. I'm very famous.
Why didn't you let me do that?
You are.
A big shout out to my guests that have joined me. Follow Kirk on the social media at Kirk R. Thatcher. That's KIRKRTHATCHER. And James, we're going to follow you at Puppet Dungeon, PUPPETDUNGEON. You guys, thank you so much for taking the time to hang. And I just really wanted to get you guys talking a little bit and to have some puppet nerd magic happen. And I was not lacking. So thank you guys very much. Have a perfect and wonderful day.
Jeff.
Thank
See you guys later.
Jeff.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Later. Bye. Hey, everybody. It is time for a producer break, and I am very excited to share this break with you. A big, huge shout out to all the amazing people over on patreon.com/JeffMay, who for a very affordable amount sponsor this show and allow me to not starve, which is huge because I don't want to starve because I am big and starving is bad. But a huge, huge shout out to a lot of very, very incredible people, including, let's pick a random up. We'll start with blacktulipmassage.com. We love Julie. Check her out if you are in Central Mass for a massage. I got to get back there for it. A big shout out to Put Watches on a Belt for a waste of time. Waste is spelled WAIST. Check out this month's Nerd with Dre and Jeff. And Dre says I can say whatever I want. And I will just tell you that our season on Speed is about to pick up, if you know what I mean. Big shout out to Dan Hackroyd, Norm from Cheers. A big, huge shout out to Boppy Opulent. Would like to offer Jeff a nice brioche bun in this trying time. Ew, gross. No thanks. Shout out to Porcelain Jesus, David, Knife Boot, Hinson, The Return of Lemming Malloy. A big shout out to at Ravages of the Scourge, SCOURGE, for your fantasy themed death metal and deathcore needs. A big shout out to The Treatment, a podcast about stories with Billy Beck, Cody Beck, and Mark Lucas. I love that people have figured out you can just advertise your shit on here. Do that, folks. I'm all in. A big shout out to Burrito, my best friend. Aldo Vargas is adding Jeff Has Cool Friends, a producer, to his resume. Do it. I will lie to anybody for you. I have no gumption about that. Big thank you to That Scene in Lost City where Brad Pitt dies. Shout out to Sweet Keel. Heads up to I'm going to start calling Yoda Old Grogu just to see what happens. Who, by the way, I was my friend because the name is very similar. I accidentally, because I have typed that person's name out enough times, my friend Matt from home was in town and they corrected it to that producer's name. So like my phone knows my producers. So that's fun. Funky J Mousley comes out at night. Mousley. The Enchanted, Wondering, Unpierced Left Nipple, that only goes up to 11. Cider served at room temperature with just a pinch of cinnamon. A big shout out to Watch Me Use These Prehensile Nipples to pick up pennies off the floor. Big shout out to the Oatmeal Savage. It's hot. It's summertime. I'll still eat oatmeal just for you, Mr. Savage. And a big shout out to Call Me Sean or whatever. Now, if you want to be an amazing producer like Call Me Sean or whatever, or any of the names that you heard before, head on over to patreon.com/JeffMay. We got lots of really cool stuff. You can get cards in the mail, blah, 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 blah. You know all the stuff. Great shows, the monthly flow, exclusive to the Patreon. Nerd, dropping early. Jeff Has Cool Friends, early, uncensored, bone con. You get the drill. Come on down. Maybe my voice won't crack more times. And now back to your regularly scheduled Jeff Has Cool Friends reunion episode. Folks, I am so excited for this segment right here because I have two incredible artists, two guys that are just so fantastically talented, masters of expression and talent and fun in their art, very frenetic, very wonderful, very incredible, but also good dudes. And I love that a lot. So I'm very excited to bring from episode 24, Dave Perillo. Dave, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, that's Dave. That's not me doing a Dave impression. You guys can take my word for it.
Clearly, not Jeff's Dave impression.
Oh, hi there. I'm Dave Perillo. I'm a Muppet or something. And from episode 72, the incredible Bob Fingerman. Bob, how's it going?
Wow, episode 72.
I know. And we're at 100.4.
Wow.
This is our 100th episode, 4-year anniversary spectacular extravaganza clip show.
Milestone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a milestone.
Should I have worn a shirt with no sleeves too? But you didn't send a dress code.
I
before the
100% said the sleeveless t-shirt.
show. Oh my, well, look at me. I failed again.
No, also it's hot and this isn't a real job. So I'm not wearing sleeves. I have no reason to.
99 degrees here. It's hot here.
Oh, you guys are like, yeah, because Dave, you're in like Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, right?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Freedom.
You guys are getting that heat bowl.
Heat bowl, yeah.
Like, isn't like going to be in like the like low hundreds for a couple days in the next couple like week for you guys?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like a burrito bowl, but less fun.
Yeah, but you sweat in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are both great. Dave, I've known you forever, right? I've known you since 2006, which is forever when the world is about to end. Yeah. Bob, I've only known you for about 2 years. And but
it feels like forever, doesn't it?
It does feel like forever.
I have that effect on people.
But when I was piecing these things together and I was trying to figure out because you're trying to see you're trying to put 2 bugs in a mayonnaise jar, shake it up and see what happens, right? And I was like, I bet these guys are going to sync up really well. Because Bob, I mean, obviously your illustrations throughout the years have been so great. You just released that incredible book. You were just featured on was it the Cartoonist magazine?
Illustrators
magazine, featured cover feature artist. Your tits were out. It was awesome.
Yeah, the Barbarians have breached the Tony magazine illustrators. It's all downhill from here.
That's kind of like an award, right?
It is to me. I mean, I was extremely flattered by that.
We were talking earlier off camera, but before Dave arrived, that you're looking at moving around to places, right? I don't know how much we say. I don't want to blow up your spot, like your plan.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is for public. Yeah, I'm looking to get the hell out of Dodge, as the saying goes. But I mean, I've wanted. Yeah, we don't need to get into all that.
Sure. But and one of the things you were was well, awards. I've never chased awards, and now they're asking me for awards. Doesn't the cover of a popular illustrator magazine count as an award?
You would think so,
right? That's
you would think.
Yeah. Nah. Oh well. And
guys like you and I don't run the world, though, and we definitely don't work in bureaucracies. So
if we're talking artists, sure, but if you're talking white guys, I've got huge news for you.
We low on the totem pole.
We're running the world, and it's running into the ground.
Yeah, not a fan.
No. But Bob, of course, your illustrations. I mean, I grew up, really seeing your work in Cracked Magazine. That was I loved them because I had my mom's friend used to have a bunch of Mad and Cracked magazines, so I would just get to read them. So you got none of my money, is what I'm saying.
That's fine.
And Dave, your art has been permeating through pop culture lately, and a lot of the stuff you do, super fun, super cartoony. Loving the stuff you've been doing with the Disney parks prints
Mm.
you've been doing, the Disney rides.
That's the cracked magazine of amusement parks.
No, that's King's Dominion in West Virginia. That's
That's
come on, that's a
a
good pull. That's a good pull.
King's Dominion, Knott's Berry Farm.
I would like to say that I enjoy Knott's Berry Farm a lot. Like I like Knott's Berry Farm.
On a trendy kitsch level, or you legit
The
enjoy
food is by far just
the food's top notch compared to
like
the other-
Disneyland. You're paying a lot of money for some bad food.
yeah.
You
No,
you don't
that's
like walking around in 100 degrees holding a turkey leg?
With held together with edible glue.
It finishes cooking as you walk. That's the Disney promise. So
You know, it is funny actually. The last time I saw Dave, he was doing a signing at the Wonderground Gallery. And we met up at Downtown Disney. And we sat down and he still had his signing thing. So we just put it on the table and everyone was like, "Is that you?" And it's just a picture of him literally on there. And we were both looked at each other and we're like, I don't understand how you even asked this question.
Could be my twin brother.
It was literally like a picture of Dave standing with it. Like it's like a publicity photo, you know, on his little thing. And it's like signing Wonder. And she's like, "Oh my God, is that you?" And I'm like, it couldn't be less him. Or it couldn't be more him. You know, it was like really funny.
they know that's a picture of me. This is me. That's merely a
I
two-dimensional
left it on the table.
representation of me.
Yeah, yeah. It was a very Magritte way of creating art. You're like, "Ceci n'est pas un Dave Perillo." So
Wow.
technically that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there. So you guys are both like really incredibly accomplished artists. Wait, so you consider yourselves illustrators, cartoonists, artists? Like, how do you describe yourself when people ask what you do? Bob, start.
Yeah, I mean, all of the above. I guess I usually default when people say, "What do you do?" I'll usually say I'm a cartoonist. I tried artist for a while and that felt kind of grandiose for some reason. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Isn't that like the biggest umbrella?
I guess that's the other thing.
It's like I'm an
it's
artist and this is a
too
podcast.
generic. Yeah, it's too generic. And I'm not really an illustrator anymore.
What's the
So, yeah.
difference?
Well, I think illustrator, you're generally getting an assignment and putting the visual usually with someone else's editorial content.
Okay.
Whereas for cartoonist, I'm generating usually my own material.
Okay.
So I think,
Huh.
but I mean, right now I'm doing a gig for Mad and I'm the illustrator on that. So I'm a cartoonist, but I'm illustrating our friend Tammy Golden's script. So
I love Tammy Golden.
everyone loves Tammy.
her.
Tammy's great.
I just saw Tammy Golden a couple days ago. That's so fun. That's exciting. I forgot where it was. So I'm trying to kill time by just saying what adjectives.
Let's just say Ralph's, just for the
I
sake of
saw her at
convenience.
Ralph's. There was an art event at a Ralph's and she was there. Dave, how do you describe yourself?
I guess it depends on what they want to hire me for.
Oh, okay.
They want a cartoonist. I can be a cartoonist. Most of the time, I guess I do illustration. Yeah, because I get like assigned projects, and then sometimes they want it in my specific style, and sometimes they want me to stay on model with the characters. So then I have to just copy a style.
I've always wondered about that. Is that difficult to like have to ape in a style?
It depends on the style, yeah, but yeah, it can be. Some styles I find are easy to ape and utilize for whatever reason they want it for, whether it's like some kind of product or poster, you know, like Simpson stuff's pretty easy to ape. And Peanuts was very tricky, but they wanted it exactly like Peanuts because they don't want you to stylize anything, but you try and put your own spin on it as much as you can.
Yeah.
And colors.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you do Simpson stuff. Is that with like Acme Archives? You do a lot of those?
Yeah, they have the license for the Simpson stuff. So
Yeah. I see those. I see your Simpsons posters everywhere from that. I always see that.
Thank you.
Is there a so looking at influences and stuff like that, like I always kind of want to wonder like where where they start to where they sort of flourish. Like what got you guys into art, and then what did you like discover later in that artistic sort of journey? Dave, you start this one.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, like cartoons growing up, stuff in the 80s, comics. That's where I started. And then from there, I watched a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff and then got into like UPA animation and then started researching that, like who, the different styles and started looking at people like Mary Blair from Disney and like artists like Jim Flora, who did a lot of like jazz album covers in the 50s and stuff like that. And just kind of developed a style based off of that. I guess I sort of started more traditional and then abstracted it as it went along to kind of develop how I want to draw my own personal stuff. But yeah, it's like simplifying it down. Like I remember in high school trying to copy like McFarlane covers.
Didn't we? I think a lot of us did try to do that.
It was inspiring. It was like, look at all these lines, look at all this ink, and then I realized it's like, I am not McFarlane. And then, simplify it down, I do better.
You're like, I can't do that. I don't have time to make toys.
I don't have time to buy baseballs and stuff like that.
And
I can definitely see the Jim Flora more in terms of like composition. Like you've definitely got your own thing, but Flora was so great.
Yeah.
Just so kind of I won't say ahead of his time because he was just of his time. He was very much of his time, but boy, his stuff was just so beautiful and lively and just really inviting to look at. So
there are certain artists that are definitely sort of indicative of their time, but also that stand out sort of above the rest. When you look at like somebody like, I think like Alex Toth is a really good example of that, where it's breaking down form and function to a near minimalist style of perfect art.
Right.
Which I thought, and then you see like, guys like Mike Allred sort of building from there and adding their styles and stuff.
Bruce Timm's whole style, like that all the Bruce Timm stuff, I don't know if would exist without Alex Toth's,
One of the funniest statements I ever heard on this show was we had Joey Bragg on the show. Joey Bragg's a young guy, but big comic book fan, big art fan. He was on like he's a Disney Channel kid, And he said something along the lines of Bruce Timm really wants to just be painting naked ladies on the sides of airplanes, but instead he accidentally became the architect of Batman. And I always find that to be like really funny when you look at like what Bruce Timm does when he's not doing commercial work, and it's always just like naked girls.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, oh, he wants to be doing something very different than what he's stuck doing.
Yep.
Like he's like, I'm stuck in the prison of Batman that I can no longer escape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let me draw a nipple on something, please. Bob, how about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot of the usual suspects, but what got me going probably were not the usual suspects because, when you're a kid, you're subject to what's around you. And it was my dad's library. My parents were divorced, so I'd see him on weekends and look for stuff to entertain myself in his apartment.
Pornography mostly, yeah.
Well, maybe not at the age of 4, though. But, when I started like poking around his bookshelves, he had guys like Gahan Wilson, Charles Addams, Peanuts, and Jules Feiffer, and Walt Kelly. So those were kind of my original 5 were those, because those are and he had one Lil Abner book. But that one kind of scared me. There was something about Al Cap's style that was kind of scary to me. But less so than Adams and Gahan Wilson. I mean, more so, I should say, than Adams and Gahan Wilson. Their stuff was kind of invitingly macabre, but there was something really misanthropic about Al Cap, which I guess proved to be true. But those, I don't necessarily see their work in mine, except maybe, weirdly enough, Pfeiffer. Because even though I had no idea what was going on with Pfeiffer, there was something about the way he drew, which was so kind of unforced and really spontaneous, and just kind of the simplicity of it, that for a little tiny developing brain was very inviting to me. So I found myself looking. There was a book my dad had called Pfeiffer's Marriage Manual, which I'm sure is not the top in the top 10 of most budding cartoonists at a
At
tiny
5 years
young
old,
age.
yeah.
But for me, that was one I kept pulling off the shelf and looking at, because there was something that connected with my little, like I say, developing brain.
I find that really fascinating too. Like there's something like it's wired, right? So that's like the nature and the nurture and all this stuff. But like when you see something where you're like, I was a 5-year-old kid or 4-year-old kid, and I was pulling down these comic strip books and fascinated with them, and wow, would you believe that I ended up getting into that world, right? And then it's like, yeah, but it's wild to me that just that drew you at such a young age, and it was almost like the seeds were there, right? You're like,
Yeah, well, the nature definitely, I think, came more on the maternal side, because my mom, she wanted to be an artist. She actually was a very good artist. She just didn't get to pursue it professionally. And then it just sort of eventually just kind of atrophied from neglect. But her father had been an artist. Her older sister had been an artist. So there was a visual art component to the maternal side. And then and she was very nurturing in that she was very encouraging. But I think in terms of how the needle began to go would be the stuff my dad had on his bookshelves.
hmm.
So, and then they kind of gelled, and then then you start meeting other kids, and then you start seeing stuff like Mad Magazine and the comic book plop, DC's
Yeah,
kind of short-lived
yeah, they're
uh,
they're
humor
underground.
humor in scare quotes
Yeah,
title, things like that. Then it all kind of just begins to snowball downhill.
I remember being young and stumbling onto the sort of adult comics, the underground comic stuff, the
Yeah,
crumb stuff,
that
the
was a big part too. Later,
I and like even as a kid looking at them, like they have this quality of them where they almost feel wrong. Like it's an unnerving art style. Like when I'm looking at it, whenever I look at it, and even now when I see it, when I see something, that's like an old crumb book or something like that, I am vehemently uncomfortable looking at it. And I feel like that's the point, right? Like, or am I just crazy?
no, I'm sure there is a component to it, because especially well, now I'm not sure, but when you're younger, there's a forbidden fruit thing.
Yeah. Oh
There's
yeah. It's
something
like it was like
very,
finding porn.
yeah, and there's something very enticing, especially I think to younger people, younger kids and stuff, of that, things that are taboo, because you feel like if you're seeing it, you're getting away with something,
Yeah.
which is, that's something, it's titillating. Yeah. So,
I s- I still get a little bit of that. And it's funny, Bob, because I get a tiny, tiny twinge of that when I look at some of your work in the most complimentary way I can say it.
no,
There's
that makes
like,
sense, because that's the stuff that's probably most
yeah,
entwined in how I did develop. I think it's probably a 50-50 combination of classic mad, and underground comics. I
yeah,
mean, I'm so steeped in that. I just read that Crumb biography. I actually just read it twice in a row, because I read it once to myself, and then I read it aloud to my wife. And
that's awesome.
there's just something about that era. I've got this shelf over there full of books about the underground comics era. And as much as the hygiene of it would have really been, been appalling to me, I'm too much of a neat freak, and to have been happy to be part of the hippie era. There's something really cool about all of the art that developed coming out of, basically, of course, boomer is a big insult now. Okay, boomer. But, all these creators who were born just around the war or just post the war, and grew up in the 50s, who then became the underground comics people, their art was such a reaction to growing
Counterculture,
up
yeah.
in a repressed
Yeah.
America, where it was just like, okay, it's just gonna vomit my id all over the paper.
Yeah. Well, it is funny too, because I see that there's the image that you sent me to use, right? That picture of you kind of running and looking back. There
Hmm.
is it's a beautiful piece. It's masterfully done. I get it, but there's this level of sort of like a creepy, uncanny valleyness to it because it looks just like you, but the proportions are off a little bit because obviously it's a cartoon version of you. That it is both brilliant and amazing, and also to me, and I don't know if anybody else got that. It's like even a little bit unnerving, but in like the most wonderfully artistic way possible. So then when I look at Dave. And Dave, your stuff, because you actually insert your family into a lot of your work with like the Disney stuff, right?
Yeah, I sneak them in there.
And it's always sort of it's kind of very clearly cartoony and always very like bright and joyous. And it's two very different but equally fantastic ways that I get to see my friends drawing themselves. And I just think that's neat.
I think it's easy to draw I don't know. I always find it easy to draw myself personally. Like rather than when somebody asks me to draw them, I get very uncomfortable.
Oh no. Oh no. I had you do that. You drew me.
You did. And
I made you
the whole time I
uncomfortable.
was uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm not sorry. I'll do it
It
again.
made me uncomfortable, Jeff.
Yeah. I'll do that. Guys, what are you guys up to? We can talk about projects, but we're gonna do that in a second because I want to know, like, what are you guys what art are you consuming these days? It can be anything. It can be books, television, movies, music. Like what have you guys been falling into lately?
You want me to go first?
Answer. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, anyway. Dave, how about you? What have you been doing?
Probably consuming a lot more movies and TV than reading anything lately. I just finished The Studio on Apple, which was really
Okay.
funny. If you,
I need to figure out on my Apple account. I can't get into it.
yeah, it's a great kind of parody satire of the Hollywood behind the scenes kind of thing.
So The Studio on Apple. What else? Any movie? What was the last movie you saw in the theater?
Last movie I saw in the theater. Wow. It might have been Sonic 3.
Oh, so that was a little while ago.
Yeah, I've been neglecting going to the movies. I go to the drive-in. I've been going to the drive-in to see old movies. You know what? That's not true. The last movie I saw in the theater was the brilliant Masters of the Universe 1987 movie with Dolph Lundgren. I saw that at the Gap Theater in Wind Gap, PA. So
was that an event, or was it like a He-Man thing, or was it just like we do old
they
movies?
just screen old movies. I don't know. I feel like, I know it's kind of a depressing thing to say lately, but like even consuming anything like new content and stuff like that has been like bumming me out. So latching on to nostalgia and watching old crap that I used to watch. And I'm talking like horrible things. Like I just rewatched the movie Ghost Dad yesterday. So
why?
Because I wanted to see how bad it was.
What comfort can you possibly get in?
None.
None. But never mind. I figured out the comfort. Dead Bill Cosby.
Dead Bill Cosby.
There's a small amount of comfort.
Leonard Part 6 for the double feature.
That's next on the list.
No.
Yeah.
I remember. You know what's so funny is we used to record stuff off our VCR when we were younger, because off TV, and we had a tape, and I forget what the tape specifically was, but Leonard Part 6 was coming out. So on that tape, there's a lot of commercials for Leonard Part 6. So I'll always remember the trailer. There's like him with an ostrich at one point. There's salad being dumped on his head. And like, I've never seen that movie, but I've seen that trailer probably 120 times.
Yeah. Did you ever see Leonard's Part 1 through 5?
Yeah, that's a problem too, right? It is funny that they were like, could you believe Bill Cosby made all these bad movies? And it's like, yeah, man, he was in a lot of stuff that was bad before the Cosby Show too.
That was a legit selling point though of the movie though. Leonard Part 6 was supposed to be the 6th movie, but the first 5 movies were so top secret they couldn't show them to you.
That's like the bit. Yeah.
That was a bit. Yeah.
Oh.
I know more about Leonard Part 6 than I should.
I guess I could see that having kind of like a Last Action Hero vibe where it's like the world wasn't ready for the concept of it at the time. And so
Yeah.
it got panned. And then there's a revision. I mean, you're never going to get a revisionist review of Leonard Part 6 now. That's like, I see what this great actor was going for. You're probably not going to get that now. But I do like that people have come around to Last Action Hero. Halloween 3, I feel like people have come around to, and they pretend that they have always been a fan, and that's a lie.
That is a lie.
But they say they loved it now. So we got the Studio on Apple TV.
That's what I just finished. Yeah.
And Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad.
And so that's really, it's just a...
It's sad.
That's
sad.
The eyes and ears of Dave Perillo are
sunken
really...
into a hole.
You didn't see Sinners?
I did.
You know what? Okay. I did see Sinners.
Wow. Were you embarrassed?
Wow.
Was I embarrassed that I saw
Is that
it?
why you didn't tell us?
You want me to be honest about Sinners?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get the hype. I don't
Really?
I'm not getting it. Everyone's telling me, and I feel like it's when somebody tells me to watch The Wire, and you got to watch The Wire, and then I watch The Wire, and then I just kind of sink back into the corner, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm like, I don't know what I'm missing here, but I feel like I watched it. I don't know. I just didn't.
Some things don't land for everybody.
Well, here's a funny thing. I saw Sinners at the Chinese, but it was not on the IMAX
theater
screen.
By the way, for those of you that are listening.
Oh yeah,
for theater.
For non-locals, yes.
Bunch of Chinese people standing
formerly,
most people listening are not aware that the Chinese is the Chinese theater on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, you make a good point. I was being very localized in that reference. But there was an IMAX screening, but my buddy and we went into the theater and I noticed the seats were really weird. And I thought, oh, these are weird seats. And my buddy says, oh God, I hope it's not a 4D screening.
Oh,
and I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it was.
Oh no.
And I will say, if you want to come up with a technology that doesn't immerse you in the film, but constantly keeps pulling you out of the film by annoying you, 4D is for you. I ended up with a bloodshot eye for 18 hours from blasting me in the eye throughout the movie. And it was just like, the f is this? Where is this coming from? I'm like looking around like, where is this coming from? These blasts of air and worse, moisture. Don't blow moisture in my eye during a movie, please.
That sounds like a nightmare.
And my taint was getting pummeled during
various. You not experienced
scenes.
4D, Jeff?
I know I've done it on like rides.
Yeah, well, in a ride, you're prepared for it. I was unprepared for this.
Yeah, that Muppet ride I had done at Disney World that they just closed, right?
That's not anything like this.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
no, I don't want that. I don't want that 4D kind of experience. I have no interest in that. But so I think one of the things with Sinners, and
I actually movie though.
I really like the art behind it, like a lot of the decisions, and Ryan Coogler being Ryan Coogler, you like watch that movie and that the research is being done and everything, but like a lot of the themes I got through, and spoilers if you haven't seen Sinners, stop this, go watch it. I think it's on Max now or something like that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of it is sort of your main character's rejection of colonialism and racism, like even to the point of like that his father is a preacher, right? And Christianity is a religion that was forced onto these people, and the blues was something that they created on their own. And so looking at the decision of what do you choose, the thing that was forced upon you by the white slave masters, or the thing that your people built together, like where is the devil actually located? And I found that to be a very interesting statement that was being made.
I'll tell you what, that part of the movie, I would have rather just watched the movie about that sans the vampires.
Well, it's also not a particularly scary vampire movie. It's more conceptually thrilling than it is like it's not really gory.
No, but the vampire showing up thing just kept screaming Tarantino's From Dusk Till Dawn to me. It would seem like it was
It
like
did
a
have
like
From
a
Dusk Till
gimmick.
Dawn energy. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
And I will say the first 2/3 of the movie were more engaging to me than when it became a John Carpenter movie, which is not a bad thing. I like John Carpenter, but it kind of turns into Assault on Precinct 13 and vampires.
Yes.
And those are two well, one of those is good.
I was gonna say if you're gonna compliment vampires, we're gonna have a conversation.
No. But anyway.
Is there a bigger piece of that's as talented as James Woods? He might be my top of people I think that suck incredibly that are really talented.
Well, I'm sure in every art form there is a James Woods. So,
right? Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like you could say maybe is there a more talented bag actor than James Woods?
Well, Voight.
I think James Woods is a better actor than John Voight.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And there are certain movies, as much as you want to take a stance, that I cannot take out of my pantheon. I can never remove Videodrome from my pantheon. Sorry.
I mean, he's really good.
And that movie's one of my top
I'm
movies.
the same way, but with Straight Talk.
Sure.
The Dolly Parton, James Woods movie.
I understand.
Remember Straight Talk?
I enjoy him in the Cat's Eye segment.
So good at Cat's Eye. He's got to quit smoking.
Oh yeah.
He's got to quit. I watched Cat's Eye as a kid. My grandmother made me watch Cat's Eye as a kid.
Made you?
Yes. She was my babysitter. She would be like, "We're going to watch this. What is it? A troll's going to try to kill a girl." And that was she kind of like skipped to the troll scene at the end too. She was like, "You just enjoy the terror." My grandmother was like,
that might have been my gateway to Stephen King was Cat's Eye. I feel like that was a movie that was PG and allowed to be shown. Like I was allowed to watch that one because the previous ones were all R.
I could
see
that
when it came out.
What's do you guys remember, like, what's the scariest thing you remember as a kid consuming? So like that you shouldn't have seen it. You saw it at the wrong time. Bob, was there anything you saw as a kid where you were like, I should not have seen this and this is going to haunt me for a while?
Well, I mean, again, I would watch things on TV and they were usually edited for television, but on local channels, the editing really meant they put commercials in but didn't cut anything out. So I remember watching things like Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things and Don't Look in the Basement, things like that when I was probably a little younger than I should have been to be watching those.
Oh.
And finding them a bit unnerving. But at the same time, I really wanted to watch. That's
the problem, right? Yeah.
Well, I always had an attraction repulsion thing, those were the driving impulses of my youth, were looking at things kind of askance. I'd look out of the corner of my eye and I'd think, well, that's definitely not for me. How can I look at it?
How can I see this?
So, but since I am an only child, I didn't have that older sibling who was like, I'm going to show this thing to my younger brother and freak him out. So, and my parents were both really good, responsible parents. So, the things that I would seek out on my own were things that they would not, be putting in front of me.
I remember I was talking to my co-host on Nerd, Dre Alvarez, and he was talking about how his 9-year-old somehow knows the plot to Aliens. And he's like, how do you know the plot to Aliens? You were 9. And I just went, Dre, show him Aliens. He's 9 years old. I was younger than that when I saw Aliens. Show him Aliens. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. But I'm like, what? I would be a bad parent. I remember I saw Gremlins when I was like 6.
Oh, Gremlins messed me up, yeah.
And because here's the thing. Gremlins is a comedy if you're an adult. When you're an adult, Gremlins is hilarious. Gremlins is not a comedy when you're a child. It's not funny. Even the stuff that's supposed to be funny is not funny. And that terrorized me for like a couple years. But I would watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Bob, on that, like that repulsion, that attraction to repulsion.
Well, the other thing is there's a component to me being older than I think both of you guys. The illicit weird stuff that I began to watch on television is in the pre-VCR era.
I saw
So
like
it would also kind of show up and then disappear again. And it wasn't like, well, I'm going to watch that again. It was just like, well, okay, well, that happened. That's a weird thing that I just
Yeah.
looked at. And then it would just go away. And, you know, if it was something I really kind of took a shine to, that's where a kid of my era, you had to scour TV Guide and say, okay, is this thing, you know, going to show again anywhere? And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. And then they would take on this sort of patina of extra value because it was like, well, it's almost like I dreamed that. And then fast forward to when people started having VCRs and you'd go to the video rental store and you'd see a box for this up thing you watched
20 years ago.
before
or
you could
something,
watch
yeah.
it again. It's like, oh, there's that thing. Wow, I'm gonna rent that and see it without commercials and see it, you know.
And then
It
it's
was like,
bad. And you're like,
nah, usually I was pretty okay with it. Because again, the gap between those isn't that far. It was like, okay.
yeah, it is interesting to think about how like movies used to go on tour. Like that's such a weird thing to me, but like, yeah, like Star Wars. Like Star Wars had its initial run and then it would just go on tour. And like they would go to different places and just air Star Wars and then move to the next place. And I always thought that was really interesting too. That was like a legitimate thing. And I do love like I love a second run theater now too. Like, Dave, you were saying you saw Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. I never
Um,
saw it when it was out. I mean, nobody really did. It was kind of like,
No. I was like 5 or 6 when it came out. And my mom's like, we can't afford to go see that. But then also
seeing Transformers the movie in the theater. I had to seek it out and find a theater that was playing it because it was, you had twins. That was it. There wasn't multiplexes when I was growing
Twin
up.
Cinemas, yeah.
Twin cinemas, sometimes single theaters, and then I remember finding a twin theater that was in Philadelphia and going downtown to see the Transformers movie, and then being horrified when they,
Man, what a brutal thing they did. For those of you that are not aware, the animated Transformers movie, they needed to make room for more toys. So all the Transformers that you knew and loved, they just straight up murdered.
Yeah, in the first like 5 minutes of this movie, you're watching your toys get executed.
Which Optimus Prime go to hell. It was terrible, man.
See, here's
actually
definitely where our age gap is a thing because I'm like Transformers had exactly zero relevance in my entire life. I've never seen any Transformers anything because it's just like I have no nostalgia for it. I don't care about the Michael Bay ones and
Nobody knows.
and I'm not going to seek out the animated ones so I can watch a cheaply animated 2-hour toy commercial.
Yeah.
And
Although
watching them now is not.
Yeah, it is Orson Welles' last theatrical appearance.
Wow.
Which I find
It is
delightful. It's sort of like how
Magnificent Amberson's Transformers.
well, it was oh God, what's his name? Jimmy Stewart. His last theatrical work was Fievel Goes West, playing an old sheriff dog. That's kind of neat.
It's at least it's a step up from Transformers.
Yeah. Is it? That's we covered that. The reason I know that is we covered that on weirdly enough Nerd, and the season was just like really insane sequels to popular movies. Because like An American Tale is about the Jewish immigrant story in America, and then they're like the next one, he's just a cowboy. He's just going to be a cowboy, and you're like, that what?
Am I mistaken, or did that kind of come from them trying to option Mouse and Spiegelman saying, nah? Or am I?
No, I'm not sure because, Spielberg. I mean, it's a Spielberg joint, right?
Mhm.
Like, he went through there, and he famously, he does gravitate towards Holocaust material. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I'm not 100% sure if that's apocryphal or not, but
Yeah, I'll need to look into that.
Because it's really, I mean, it's a reaction, you know, in that of like the Russian pogroms and stuff.
He
like
could have maybe he never tried to actually do something with Mouse, but Mouse might have made him say, I should maybe do a
Sure.
movie
And if you can have Don Bluth.
that doesn't have the Holocaust in it. Let's go back
Yeah.
a little further to just pogroms.
I mean, I would say that the Rats of Nim,
Oh
the
yeah, Secret of
the
Nim, sure.
that Nim, that has like the kind of sinister energy where you're just like, what allegory are we doing here?
All right, I've got a good Nim story for you.
Oh, I would like that.
So I'm trying to remember when that came out. Would that be maybe 78?
I think it was 82.
Was it that late?
Yeah, it was in the early 80s.
I'll look it up, yeah.
Okay, well, whenever it was, I remember going to see that with my aunt. We went to the Beekman movie theater, which is immortalized in Annie Hall. That's the great Marshall McLuhan scene in Annie Hall for all you kids out there. So we went to a matinee on a weekday, and it's literally my aunt and me and some mother and her young kid. That's it in the whole theater.
Oh, wow. It was 82, by the way.
The door opens up to the lobby, and this older couple walk in, and I could recognize him from a mile away. Isaac Asimov, science fiction author of renown. Isaac Asimov walks in with his wife, and she looks and surveys the theater. She looks at me. So, okay, if this is 82, I'm 16, 17 years old, so I'm not a child.
Mm-hmm.
So she sees me, and she looks at the mother and the little kid, and in a loud voice, she says, I'm not sitting through this in a theater full of kids, and walks back out the door. And Asimov stands there in the doorway for a second, hangs his head in defeat, and then follows her back out. And I thought,
Oh my God. That's the man that invented robots.
that's the man. Well, kind of, yeah.
Wow, that is.
And I thought, boy,
that's the most random damn story you could have possibly told in this entire. I could not have predicted the next word you were saying in any part of this.
no, I wouldn't think so. it's. But
remember,
I felt really bad for him in that moment. It's like, God, he's married to a real prize.
You know, poor guy. Because he
Well,
must have been, what, how old was he then?
He was not a young man. He probably was in his 70s, I'd guess.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Maybe he just went home and just fell into his grave and said, thank God, finally.
Finally, I can. And then she's like, we uploaded your brain patterns into this robot, so now you can be here forever.
Yeah.
Like, can I
It's
finally
ironically
watch?
similar because I worked at the movie theater in my high school years, and Danny Bonaducci, the Isaac of the Partridge Family, came in and started yelling at all the ushers cleaning the theater that we stole his Zippo lighter. So that was my celebrity in a theater encounter.
I'm sorry. He just yelled. Danny Bonaducci yelled
He
at
said,
everyone.
did anyone find a Zippo lighter? And we were cleaning the theater, and we're like, no, we didn't find a Zippo lighter. And he started screaming that one of us took his Zippo lighter and demanded to see the manager. And nobody found his Zippo lighter. So
somewhere when he was like,
I bet he did in his seat cushion when he got home.
Maybe.
Yeah, he probably just
when
wanted
he
to fight.
He was a radio DJ in Philly for a brief stint in the early 90s. So
he had an interesting go. You know, I mean, wasn't there like some video of him like skateboarding shirtless, all shredded and terrifying looking, and you're just like, well, that doesn't make me feel good. I don't feel good seeing this man.
Is he another ginger who became all shredded? Did he go Carrot Top?
Like Carrot Top.
Yeah, I saw Carrot Top on Thanksgiving, by the way, last year. It was like it was.
I mean, you saw him perform, or you saw him?
Yes. I saw him perform. It was like I legitimately, because I was like, look, I'm not gonna lie. Carrot Top must put on a good show. He's been at the Luxor for, he's been doing this residency. Like, it's got to be pretty polished. Like, I was like, it kind of, and I'm not the kind of comedian. I'm not a snob comedian. I'm not going to be like, Carrot Top. What does he contribute to comedy? He's really important. Like he's good, he's talented. He was a prodigy as a young man, and like I get that he's a punchline now, but I still wanted to see. I want to see. I'd love to see a Gallagher show, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it was fine. I was like kind of bummed because I was just like expecting. I was like, this is going to be really interesting, and I watched it. I was like, eh. And I was like, ah, man, I was really hoping it would like surprise me with some like really innovative and cool and fun time. And I was watching. I was like, it's all right. It was an all right show.
Well, at least it wasn't awful.
No, but also like I'd been staying at that hotel basically because I stay at Mandalay Bay and they're connected every Thanksgiving. So I could have just seen him at any time and I was like, oh, this is a bucket list for me. And one time somebody was just like, I feel like that's a very attainable bucket list scenario that you have there.
Yeah, that one is really reachable.
I feel like you just need $40 to cross something off your bucket list.
When are you going to make the trip to Branson to go see Yakov Smirnov, though?
Oh, he's out here all the time, man. He was at the store. I've seen him. I think I've been on shows with him.
Well, I feel like you're someone who needs to go to Branson anyway. It seems like that's something you should do as an investigative reporter.
I don't want to investigate anything in Missouri. Why would you do that to me? Or I'll be in Kansas City. What's your favorite city outside of the city you live in? Where do you like to? What's your city that you would like to go to the most?
Paris and London are two that come right to mind.
Never.
London's where I'm aiming to live. So London is obviously high on the list, considering I'm actually trying to go through the hoops of moving there. But yeah, Paris.
Oh, Dave, which of those is your favorite to go to, London or Paris?
I was in both in August. I really liked London. London was it was just such a great city. It's like amazingly clean and everyone seemed friendly. Even the homeless people seemed very friendly. I don't know. I mean, I'm from Philly where, it's a little rough around the edges. So
I'm going to say every time I've been in Philly, everybody's been super nice and super kind. Even the homeless people.
They have an edge. It was just such London though is such a cool city. It's just cool. You feel cool there, and their public transportation is spot on. And I don't know. People talk about like the food not being good, and I thought the food was fantastic.
People need to update their stereotypes.
Yeah, it was like everything was great. I mean, I know it's expensive, but that's like any major city. You're gonna run into that.
Yeah, I have a feeling living in LA, moving to London is going to be pretty lateral move, Bob, right?
Not really. I mean, well, not really.
Well,
I think it's an extremely different vibe, but I mean, in terms of if you're talking about in terms of enjoyment and so forth, then yeah.
I just meant money wise.
Oh, actually, I've been pricing it out. It will be cheaper there.
I should go to London. I should be like,
partly, I won't have two cars anymore, so that's
but you can use the underground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just get everywhere in public transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to mind the gap, bruh.
Exactly.
You minding the gap, bruh? Yeah, that's nice. Dave, how about you? Do you have a city in the continental United States that you like, seeing as how we already, or a city that's not Paris or London?
I enjoyed Seattle a lot. And San Diego's just climate is something out of this world. I don't know. I go to their weather app and I look at it just to bum myself out. I mean, like, I don't understand how it could be so consistently nice in one geographic area. Like,
yeah, it's like meteorological porn.
Yeah.
76 in LA right now, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys going to be in San Diego for Comic-Con at all?
I will.
Okay. Bob?
No, I don't think so.
No, not even a day?
Maybe. I haven't been, I mean, if I skip this year, then I can say it's officially will have been 20 years since my last one. So I feel like just for symmetry, I should wait at least until next year.
Oh, when you'll live in London? That's smart.
When I live in London, yeah. No, I don't know. I always think about going back. I actually was booked to go last year. In fact, I had a hotel booked and everything, and then I got COVID. I got it ahead of going to the con. See, I could have at least gone to the con and then gotten COVID. That would have been predictable.
Yeah, that would have been just
no,
yeah.
I had to get a jump on it.
I mean, that sucks. I remember I got COVID. I was home and I was like, I don't feel great. And I was flying back and I tested myself and I tested negative. And then the next morning after the flight, and I wore a mask the whole flight anyway. But after the flight the next morning, I tested positive and I was like, thank God I at least wore that mask. Maybe I minimized the damage, but yeah. I like yeah, there's like weird cities that I really enjoy where you're like you're really shocked. Where you're like I went to Kansas City and I was like, I love this city.
Which one? MO or KS?
Well, I said I love it, so guess.
Missouri.
Yes, of course. Nobody likes Kansas City, Kansas.
But you were just bagging on Missouri 10 minutes ago.
But then but I said, except for Kansas City.
Okay. All right.
Talk with Kansas City.
I did Minneapolis. Like, Minneapolis was really nice.
I have been to Minneapolis. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Omaha was weird. Omaha was less corn and white people than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was
honest.
Minneapolis. It was.
Oh, that's a super diverse space. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of indigenous people there too. It was
like a sanctuary city too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we have to let you guys have the rest of the day, but I do want to know what you guys are up to. So, real quick, Bob, tell us what you got going on. I know you've had a book come out. We talked about it on your episode, right? What else can we say coming on?
Well, maybe since that episode, I've had another book come out, which, yeah, I would love people to check out Printopia, probably the book I'm proudest of to date. So, from Cosmic Lion Productions, new graphic novel, very funny. I think it's also unfortunately, it's actually very relevant, let's say, to certain things going on in the world. But I think people of all walks of life will enjoy it.
All right. What's the best way to get it? Should we have our local comic shop order it or get it?
Well, that would be nice. Yeah, local comic shop. If they'll order it, they should stock it anyway. You can order it directly through the publisher, Cosmic Lion Productions. And of course, there's always Amazon if you want to make it easy breezy.
Don't do that.
Ordering moisturizer and other things.
Don't. Do the local comic shop move.
Or order it direct from the publisher. Either one is good.
Yeah, but do the comic shop one.
And I'm also beginning work on, I've always liked solo anthology titles, to go back to like Underground Comics. You know, Crumb did his. Of course, there was probably the best one of all time, 8 Ball. Dan Clowes. And it's a format I've always loved, and I've never done one. So I'm going to be launching my own solo comic book anthology, hopefully by last quarter of this year.
I mean, let's go, baby.
Called The Finger. I feel I've earned that title.
The Finger?
Yes.
Shout out to The Finger.
Shout out to The Finger.
All right. So definitely check that out and follow Bob on the socials at Bob Fingerman. That's BOBFINGERMAN. Dave, what's going on?
Probably going to start competitive eating.
Yeah, you won a pie eating contest yesterday.
I did. It was a rush.
How many people did you compete against?
8.
How many pies did you eat?
It was one pie, but in how much in a minute? So it wasn't a quantity. It was as many pies. It was who could finish the pie.
So it wasn't like, speaking of Stephen King, it wasn't Stand by Me with you just puking blueberries all over everybody.
It was blueberry pie, and it was very.
Maybe that's why I kept texting you lard ass as you were doing it.
Yeah, I thought you were just pumping me up.
No, well, I was, but that's just me in the order of Buffalo or whatever they were, the guys, the like old Lions Club guys that get vomited on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I got more Disney stuff coming up, so that's usually, they don't let me talk about that, but there's more of that.
And you'll be at Comic-Con.
And I will be at Comic-Con. I'll be helping out at the Fox Animation booth, Toddland, and I did a poster for Spoke Art that they're going to be releasing. So,
okay,
that's a good one. Has anybody watched that show? That's a great show.
Of what?
Righteous Gemstones. I just did a poster for that.
So good. I'm so excited
Okay.
that you're doing a Righteous Gemstones piece. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And you can all follow Dave at Monty Gog if you see him at San Diego Comic-Con, or myself or Bob next year. Maybe. Make sure you say hi. Tell them you love them. You love their show. Gentlemen, last thoughts?
That's a portentous way of putting it these days, with the news cycle being what it is.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going for.
Oh, God.
I always feel like every time I'm recording, I'm going to have one of those Starship Troopers shadows just start coming in over me as I'm talking.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm from Buenos Aires.
Okay, well, just as one final digression on ingestion of pop culture, because you had asked what's been, watched lately.
Yeah.
So I'm part of a weekly movie night group. A couple of weeks ago, the selection was the new ultimate cut of Caligula, which I don't know if you know anything about it.
I've seen it.
It's the one that was completely put together from footage that is not in the theatrical version. And it's supposed to be the good version of Caligula. I thought it was an irredeemable heap of shit, and there was not a good moment in the entire thing.
Young Helen Mirren goes topless on there. So
Well, she does more than that. I mean,
I know, but it's like, so if you say there's nothing redeemable about it.
All right. In terms of a work of cinematic. Anyway, but the reason I bring it up is just sort of by coincidence, I then watched Gladiator 2, and then came back to the original Gladiator. So it was kind of a trifecta of ancient Rome things. And if you're looking for escapist movies with what's going on in the world now, they are terrible, because Caligula, it's Trump.
Yeah.
You watch Gladiator in particular, and I have a feeling he watched that movie and thought Joaquin Phoenix was the hero.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
That is clearly the hero of the movie, is Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. His sword work is very beautiful.
Yeah. And then you watch Gladiator 2, solid movie. And the Twin Emperors, again, it's like bifurcated Trump. It's just, you've got the half-wit one, and you've got, anyway. So these were terrible in terms of escapist entertainment, because I just kept feeling dragged into, it was like, am I watching a movie or CNN? It's just
fucking yikes, right?
So yeah, anyway, so there
Dave,
you go.
last
Those are
thoughts?
my final words.
I'll go with so let's transition, because the horse, Caligula, I just found out the other day, Hot to Trot. You know the movie Hot to Trot?
Oh, Bob's in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that originally it was filmed where the horse was just supposed to not have any dialogue. And that's how they played it in the theater, like on test screenings. And then nobody thought it was funny because it was, So then they had to have John Candy come in and record dialogue for the horse and have it match up with what Bob was saying back to him. So I that's
Great. I'll always say, like, one of the weirdest, most temporarily exciting moments for me was at Dana Gould's wedding. Bob was starting to do like a speechy kind of thing, and he did the voice. But then he's just like, I'm going to stop the voice because, none of you are going to understand what I'm saying. And like, you don't want to hear that. And I was at like a formal event, so I couldn't be like, I want nothing more than to hear you do the voice right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I want it so bad.
And now everyone knows the Bob you're talking about is not this Bob.
Oh, sorry. The Bobcat Goldthwait. I apologize.
And you do, Bob, can you do a Bobcat voice, Bob?
Not on call.
I don't think I can. Guys, Bob Fingerman, Dave Perillo, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you for being my cool friends. And I hope you guys become cool friends. And bye, everyone. We'll see you at the next segment. Bye.
Bye.
And hey, everybody, we have another fantastic segment, and I'm so excited. I've actually got 3 guests coming on that all have something that I find fascinating in common. So I am joined by guests from episode 26, my good friend Charlie Talbert. Charlie, how's it going?
Fantastic.
He's doing fantastic. Thank God we're recording on his end. We have from episode 35, my good buddy from across the pond, Ethan Lawrence.
Hello, good to be back.
And
has it really been 35 to 100? That's a long old time.
2022 when
wow.
and Charlie was even earlier. So
My word.
we got that. And then from episode 50, that was the halfway mark to where we are right now.
Wow.
Nick Cowan. Nick, how's it going?
Welcome. Why am I welcoming you? Hi. How's it going? I'm happy to be here.
It's because you're polite.
Yeah.
So one of
just,
the things that we're pulling in is like, I have 3 friends that were young actors or are young actors still. Ethan, you're still technically young. What are you, 30?
32, yeah.
That's young. Nick and Charlie. Charlie, of course, from Angus, if you've ever seen that movie, such a delight, the titular Angus. Nick from Surf Ninjas, one of the titular Surf Ninjas. And Ethan from a bunch of British shit I don't know. No, I'm just kidding, Ethan. You have been on incredibly popular things such as Bad Education, including the reboot that came in, right?
Very briefly, I was in the reunion that they did, but then they went on with a whole new cast of young actors, which is great. Again, we're breeding the next generation.
Yeah, among other things like Afterlife on Netflix and things like that you've been a part of.
But we don't like to go on about that.
You know, Netflix is Netflix.
It is.
Like one of the things that I find really interesting about this group of people is that, you know, Ethan, as you are still burgeoning your career, Nick, you made that amazing pivot to the art. Dude, you did a pizza box. Was it a Ninja Turtles pizza box or something?
No. So currently I've been doing style guide art for Disney, and I got an opportunity to jump on to Marvel for a minute and do Fantastic Four, and they're using that art on a bunch of dumb stuff.
Yeah,
not dumb stuff. Send me all the pizzas,
cool stuff. Yeah, like
no, it's the Little
cool,
Caesars pizza
wonderful,
boxes and
frivolous things that are really fun.
No, it's incredible. It's everywhere, and it's like shocking, and it's hard to believe. Yeah.
And with Charlie, I mean, Charlie, of course, you know, starting out as Angus, like really kind of the beginning of your career being the main character. And so from taking that and then developing as an adult to being just one of these really fantastic found character actors that is just in all these like critically acclaimed movies, like where and shows as well, where the crawdads sing. You were in Lisa Frankenstein, which I love that you were in there, and Megalopolis.
I'm like MasterCard. I'm like everywhere you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. Yeah, you were in the Watchmen series on HBO, for God's sake. That was awesome.
Dude, I got super lucky. I got all of that is pure luck.
Nope. No. So that's actually something that I want to bring up too, which is like a lot of times when people talk about this stuff, they talk about how it's luck, right? And Charlie, you've actually attributed getting Angus to luck, right? Nick, you attributed getting Surf Ninjas to luck, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
But if you weren't the people you were, being the people that you were at that time, right? If all of the stuff, even though you were children, if all of the that made you wasn't shining at that moment by your choice, then it wouldn't have happened. So it really is. And Ethan, I don't know what you did. Yours is probably luck.
Yeah, for sure. I was right place, right time, and fell into it ass backwards. But then every actor says that. That's the thing, isn't it? Like everyone's sort of like, yeah, I was just pootling along, and then suddenly I was plucked out of obscurity.
And that's one of the things that I really, really loved. So now having you guys on here, what I was looking at, because, you know, I wish I could have a 2-hour segment with you guys, but that would be expensive to edit. So we're going to keep it to a thing, but I really want to know just like what you've been up to since we've done the episode. And then I'm going to ask you guys just a couple of questions about like stuff that you're currently sort of just both creating and consuming, but we'll get creating now. So I'm going to go with Charlie. Charlie, you are coming to us. You just got home from a fitting.
I actually just got to New Orleans for a fitting. I just drove down for 20 hours from New York straight to the fitting to to here.
So you all need to follow him on Instagram and thank him for doing this, by the way, because Jesus.
Yeah, man, it was an adventure, but anything for my friends, and you know, I want to remain a cool friend. So
you always will be. So you drove down 20 hours from New York to New Orleans. Obviously, we don't violate NDAs here, so I'm not going to ask you what you've been up to, but for this specific project. But projects that you've been working on the past couple of years that came out, I named a few. Megalopolis, that's what a cool thing to come on to, right?
Right. You know, I got that project because I knew I was supposed to be in it. That was pretty much it. I was up for the Iron Claw and that movie Carry On that was on Netflix. And I called my agent. I was like, hey, I feel like I'm supposed to be in Megalopolis. And she goes like, you and everybody else. And I was like, no, I think I'm supposed to be in this movie. And she's like, well, they had casting, but it was for 3 female characters. I was like, okay. I was like, do you mind if I try my other agent? And I called my agent in New York, LA, and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm supposed to be in Megalopolis. She goes, yeah, you and everybody else. And I was like, listen, can you? And she went back to the breakdowns, and long story short, she got an email because she started submitting me on every breakdown. They're like, we're not seeing anybody anymore. It's like a tumor in my arm that was 2 inches by 3 inches wide. I was going to get that taken out the following Monday, and I get a call from my friend who worked in casting. She's like, hey, didn't you want to be in Megalopolis? And I'm like, yes, but I never told you that. I don't understand how you would know it. And she goes, well, my friends just released a casting breakdown for extras. And I was like, I can't do extra work because, you know, my agents will drop me. And she goes, well, let me see if I can get you a real audition. And they're like, no. And then they realized they cast me actually in Versace. And they were like, oh, tell him to come to the extras call. There was just like 500 people. I went to the call. I'm waiting in line. I'm in a room with 100 people. And I ended up, Francis was picking every extra. We hit it off, had a great conversation. It's a whole story. But long story short, I got a call the next morning, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm back in Louisiana. And they were like, yeah, Francis wants you to come back and read for a character. And that was it.
And you got to work with Francis on Francis Ford Coppola's last film. And,
yeah, it was a 20-minute improv audition with him. And by the end of the audition, I was standing over the casting director on her chest, splashing water in her face and like trying to revive her in whatever scene. And next thing you know, I was going back to work for like 3 months, a few weeks out of 3 months.
That's so cool, man. That what a unique thing to find yourself into, which is really cool, man. And I'm so stoked on that. So that's great. Nick, you were saying you've been doing a lot of like character design work and working with Disney now and stuff, and your artwork's starting to come out on like Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Since the last time since the pod that I was on, I picked up this gig at Disney Consumer Products. My day job of sorts is graphic design and illustration these days. And yeah, just found myself at the mouse, and lo and behold, got stuck one of my first projects on Fantastic Four, even though we don't usually do Marvel in my division, but Marvel will like help a call to arms. They didn't like the original stuff that had been done. And, you know, a few of us worked on this thing, and my little subsection was this kind of retro graphic thing that I kind of feel like is something I'm decent at. And it's the one that got, you know, all the products are asking for that. So it's on cereal boxes and pizza boxes, and it's literally on,
so cool.
I mean, you can't see that. I don't know. I mean, look at this. It's on actual Pop-Tarts.
Oh man, now I have to get Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, I'll be eating my own artwork.
Yeah, it was like, guys, great job, nice.
It's a real weird, it's weird too. And they don't see, that's the thing is when you work on style guides, it gets sent out to everyone. Anybody who's a licensee can use it if they've got the right contract. So you don't know where it's going to end up at all. And just, you know, literally shopping. I was shopping, walking down the cereal aisle, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw something. I went, oh. I looked, and I was like, oh my God, I did that. And then it became a hunt for all these cereal boxes and all these things. And there's Walmart exclusives and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I don't, you know, those are the things I know that it's on, but we'll see where else it lives. Because normally when you do this kind of art, like I did a Disney villains style guide recently, I don't know where that'll show up. If it'll show up. It's really, I used to work on the other side of things. I used to work for this company where we were downloading that art and using it. And
you worked for Loungefly too, right?
For Loungefly, I worked there for 9 years. And as someone who was looking through these guides, you see really cool art, but you go, I can't use that for anything. So who knows? For the most part, stuff I do and am doing, who knows if it'll show up. But something like Marvel, where they're always going to be creating these movies, it's absolutely going to get used because it's the next big movie. So that was a kind of a fun one to do then.
That is cool. And also you and Ernie Reyes Jr., since I think we did the last show, did a lot of Surf Ninja's 30th anniversary.
I guess, yeah. I don't know when that when was our episode? I don't know. It's
It
been a
was
while.
2023, I want to say.
Okay, it was maybe around then. So yeah,
Is
because
it right around
2023
there?
was
Yeah.
2023 was the 30th anniversary, and we were able to pull off a couple of little screenings and things.
Yeah, it was March of
And some
2023. Yeah.
in-person Q&As and fun stuff. So that was really nice.
Which ironically, I attended with my friend, and he was a huge fan, and he's also British and loves Bad Education.
There you go. Look at that
I remember we
segue.
spoke about him on our class.
That's right. That's right. And so, I mean, so Duncan Barkley over at Blast from the Past, also, he's like, wait, how do you know Ethan Lawrence? And I'm like, he's British, isn't he, mate? And he's like, we don't talk like that, bruv, or whatever. I don't know how you guys.
Hey, bro.
He's like, mate, bruv, don't be a bruv, mate. Because he came with me to your screening at Be Kind Video, which they did one for Angus, by the way.
Yeah, they did.
And I think you did like a tele interview, right? Like a Zoom interview there.
The director and I both did. Patrick Reed Johnson and I both did.
So you both, Nick and Charlie, have had
That's funny.
your films screened at Be Kind Video on Magnolia.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what. And I was actually out of town. I had a ticket to go to that, Charlie, and then I had to go out of town. But I was going to go see and support it.
That's awesome.
I guess I did technically see and support it, or support it at least.
I much appreciate it.
Ethan, you actually remind me a lot of another good, cool friend of mine that I couldn't get a hold of, and actually I don't think he's ever done this specific show, which is Paul Walter Hauser.
Yes,
the actor, because not only are you both incredibly talented actors and you put the work in and you're really great, but you also both have involved yourselves in like independent wrestling.
Yeah. So that was a sort of weird turn of events for me. So when we last spoke in 2022, everything acting wise was sort of on the up. I think at the time we spoke about Horrible Histories was coming up. I'd just done Magic Mike. Like, you know, it was a whole thing.
That's right. You did Magic Mike 3, right?
Yeah, I was in the Last Dance. I played the stage manager. So basically my job was to sit in the box above all the hunky boys next to the craft services table. Dinner and a show. It's hardly a job, is it? Like,
it's good work if you can get it.
I tell you what. But then, like, everything with the sort of the combination of COVID and Brexit and the strikes Hollywood end, basically the British film and TV industry collapsed virtually overnight at the beginning of 2023. So everything sort of got a bit dicey for a second there. But it was one of those weird situations where, because I'd done a lot in 2022, a lot of stuff that I'd done was coming out. So I looked like I was busy, but people forget there are lead times to these things. So I was just basically looking for other outlets and things that I could possibly do. And I fell in with a local wrestling promoter. Shout out to Adam Paris, Championship Extreme Wrestling. I went to a show of his and I spoke to him afterwards and I was like, look, this has always been my dream. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Like, if there's anything I can do that can maybe put a bum on a seat, it's worth it. And immediately, I'm going to do an accent now. This is what he sounds like. And he just said to me, no, don't worry about it, mate. I've got a great idea for you. In fact, I'm going to put a belt on you. And I was like,
you change your voice at all during this? I can't.
Yeah. It's
what
weird.
voice were you doing? You did
sort
not
of got
change
like
your tone
a
at all,
voice blindness for regional British accents.
What? So really, he's like, bro, we're going to put a strap on you in it.
Basically, yeah. And at the very next show, I announced a match for like a sort of triple threat, anything goes match for this extreme title. And partway through it, I pinned someone and won the thing, turned heel immediately, and basically built this persona of Hollywood Lawrence.
I love every ounce of that. That's so
beautiful.
Fun.
And since then, I've just been a pain in the ass for everyone on that roster.
Are you like getting shredded or something? Like, are you doing that? Are you like going out of your way to get like super jacked and stuff for this, or you're just like?
So I'm not working out too much because I've got to maintain the mystique. But I have been learning like how to bump. Like, you know, I've been learning to do things to make myself more useful as a manager, because, you know, this is a local promotion. It's based in the county I live in, which is, you know, it's quite small. This promotion was born in 2022, so it's really young. But even now, like we've got sort of like a home venue, just called the Institute, which is a lovely theatre in the town of Braintree, and like it's about a 240 capacity, and we sell out every single time.
I love that. And I love independent wrestling. It's like one of
It's
those
great. It's the best thing.
I'm not a big wrestling follower, although I watch a lot of stuff about wrestling for some reason.
It's sometimes the best way to do it. I mean, the worst thing about wrestling is the wrestling.
But independent, like wrestler, when they start to do like the theater of the absurd and stuff like that, like I don't know if like in LA they did wrestling pro wrestling and it was like comedy and everything like that. It was just brilliantly written and performed and stuff like that. But like the talent of wrestlers to be like basically like impromptu stuntmen that also have to do like improv.
For sure. And like what I love about CXW, and it's also one of the things that's what's sort of great about British wrestling in general is that it remembers that it's carny. Like it's all carny as hell. So it's essentially a variety show. So we had a show like yesterday at time of recording. And like I was involved in a match. I was managing this young guy because they have an academy that they're sort of feeding people into as they learn how to wrestle. He was up against the champion, like the main guy, Leonardo Darwin. Shout out, he's very, very good. And during that match, while I was managing my little protege, I turned on him. I punched him in the dick.
Hell yeah, man. Punch that right off.
And now I manage the champion. But while that's happening, elsewhere on the card, we had the Cardcore Championship, where it was all weapons, but they're all made of cardboard. They had cardboard nunchucks. He got put through a cardboard table at one point. I love wrestling.
That's the shit that I absolutely love. So now, Charlie, you're in New Orleans. You just came down from New York. Were you living in New York?
Yeah.
Okay, because you were in New Orleans last time we did the show.
Yeah, I just moved there March 27th, actually. This was my second audition since I've been up there. And of course, it brought me right back to New Orleans. I am, by the way, Ethan, awesome. Yes, I grew up going to like local wrestling matches and traveling wrestling matches and stuff like that. And I was just thinking of that movie that Nick Frost was in not too long ago.
Oh, Wrestling with My Family.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, you remind me of the pop.
I watched that on a plane.
It's so good, right?
Just like I've been like, oh yeah, I've wanted to see this movie. Yeah, isn't like Florence Pugh playing Paige?
Yeah, she plays Paige in it. And funnily enough, we had one of the brothers on a CXW show, Ricky Knight.
Oh, like, that's so cool.
They're still so like involved with Brit Rest. It's great. But please, Charlie, carry on. I can talk about wrestling all day.
Dude, that's what this business is about. This show, of all the stuff we're doing. Every one of us is just reaching out to each other. You reached out to me in a way, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm basically in New York right now. I've been actually for the last 7 weeks. I've been going to the Comedy Cellar because I'm thinking about dabbling with stand-up again.
Getting back into it.
Yeah, I spent $15 the other day and saw like a 35-minute show from Dave Chappelle, me and 29 other people. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I'm thinking about doing that. But what I'm doing right now is I just finished my first course in Meisner. I'm trying to deconstruct the things I've been doing that I was never formally trained in and learning the process of it. And then in the interim, I'm also reading all the works of Shakespeare, and I'm trying to find a professor that'll walk me through that so I can throw it over writing as it is today and come up with different decisions and choices. And funny enough, doing the Meisner technique is actually what helped me book this. And I can just say to you, it's a real messed up role that I'm playing, and I'm not usually that guy. So I'm pretty jazzed about, because I'm built for sitcom, but we don't make sitcoms anymore. And if we do, I'll be ready for it. But in the interim, these really great directors like, Coppola and Jeremy Saulnier, and I'll get a dustpan to clean up all these names later. And I just worked on James L. Brooks' last movie. And I got that through improv as well. So, but I want to be able to give them more when they bring me to set, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now, giving back to all the people that have been giving to me since I was 15.
I'm fascinated. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about acting, which, of the four of us, I am by far the least exercised in that, is just this idea that like the amount of work it takes to get it right so that and it's a lot like comedy, I guess. So you can understand it's like the better you are at it, the easier it looks. Right. So then hearing Charlie explain, like, I'm studying this technique and trying to do this, and I'm reading all this shit, and it's like, I don't think people really understand how much work that is.
It's a lot. During the pandemic, I would say about So 8 months. So, okay. So very quickly, I've been working on a film for the last 5 years, which has now been picked up by Mike Flanagan and Neon as well. And it's going to be released worldwide theatrical. It's called Shelby Oaks. It's going to be out October 3rd. That's my little plug. But I've been working on this film since the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And I was introduced to an app called Clubhouse. I hopped on there. And then I wondered.
Oh, Clubhouse, yeah. It's like like an audio forum almost.
Exactly. And I wondered, like Discord, what have you. And I wandered into a room that was being run by the Laugh Factory out in Los Angeles and Corinna Rizzi. And I started helping these comedians with their joke unwittingly. And then they ended up bringing me on to actually help comedians write. So for a few years there, I was working with comedians on working on their jokes. And we would have people like Tiffany Haddish and Bill Burr and all these people coming in and listening and talking. And it reminded me to always be studying, to always be working, so we can give back, so we can make more of what we're doing and have more tools at our disposal. So no matter where you're at, what you're doing is you didn't give up on your podcast. You keep going. We're doing this right now. This is still an extension of studying and building and building. So yeah, we're all in that boat, and it's fantastic.
I genuinely it's just so fascinating to see that. And so Nick, I want to know, speaking of fantastic, right? On the Fantastic Four, Nick, you've been doing a lot of new projects, right? So what have you been consuming during this process?
That's a funny question, because there was a minute there where I was trying to consume as much as I possibly could, and have since stopped, took a little break.
No.
So I'm slowly consuming things now.
Oh. Did you watch the Pee-wee doc?
I haven't even watched the Pee-wee doc yet.
Because
I want to sit down. I want to sit down with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to actually take
Nick's
the time.
a big Pee-wee fan. We actually opened Pee-wee cards on an episode.
That's right. We did. I'm still
yeah.
trying to collect them now. You got me hooked. I just ordered some Beetlejuice cards as well. Animated series.
Oh, we opened those too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I've slowed down a bit, and I'm being a little bit more methodical. So the things that I've been watching lately, I finally started watching Severance.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty incredible.
Got to get my Apple account back.
Right. And I just saw the new Wes Anderson, because as a visual guy, that's always my, one of my go-tos. He's got ones that are better than others. There's like any director, but he's still one of my favorites from the visual POV. Mm-hmm. And then I watched Friendship last night.
Oh, how was that? That's Tim. Tim Robinson. Yeah.
Yes, and Paul Rudd and Kate Mara. It was super silly, but really weird, and in a weird A24 way.
Tim Robinson getting his flowers I think a really great example and a reminder of just how valuable weirdos are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at him and he's a weirdo and he's got a weird humor. But when you look at Tim and you look at Nathan Fielder and you look at all these guys that they attack things from such a different perspective. And it's that unique voice in a world of sort of AI and franchises.
Right.
To see people act in such a unique way and to see them sort of find that success. And, Tim Robinson, he lasted a season on SNL, and they're like, you're too weird for us.
I didn't even know he was on. Was he?
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I feel like now he probably would have lasted a little longer, because I feel like their choices lately are very different.
I feel like they probably wish that they were able to, but also here's what I will say though, is that the SNL crowd is not the I think you should leave crowd.
No.
And I think a lot of 57-year-old couples that have always been watching SNL would be like, I don't see any of this.
Yeah.
I absolutely get that.
Definitely so. But it was nice to see the translation to it's kind of it's a serious film at the end of the day. It just is, comedy by the fact of the absurdity that's happening and him being him. But not so much so that it took you out of it, Yeah. So he was able to translate it to a different audience, I think, in a way, same mugging of faces and weird delivery of lines, but it just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that. I was actually at one of the fun things about working in comedy in LA is because we do a comedy softball sort of pickup game every Sunday. And it's just basically you all know somebody who was a character in and I Think You Should Leave sketch. And it's just really funny. Like everybody, one of my friends, actually, speaking of wrestling, one of my high school backyard wrestling buddies, somebody who made it to the WWE, he went by Damian Sandow in the WWE.
Damien Sandow.
He's the big scary guy from the 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 shakes, 55. You remember that one where the big guy comes out and he's like, "You trying to do the pay it forward on me?" Like that's
I remember that.
a dude I backyard wrestled with. Ethan, what are you consuming? Do they have what do they have in England?
Well, we have all sorts. I found myself like because the acting's been a bit dry of late. I've found myself consuming things that I probably wouldn't do otherwise. So, like, you know, I'm going to independent wrestling shows. I've started a podcast, so now that I'm a presenter on a podcast, I've started listening to podcasts in a different way.
Oh, so
and like, you know,
shut up and answer the question. A podcast series hosted by Ethan Lawrence.
Yeah, shut up and answer the question. That's what it's called. Plug. Listen to the podcast. It's a really dumb idea, really. We take a question and then the episode is just that question. We ADHD our way through it. It's wonderful stuff. But yeah, like not only that, because sometimes we have guests, so I'm learning how to sort of be an interviewer. And again, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm watching wrestling. I'm learning more skills that I didn't have. I think it's fair to say I was maybe getting a bit complacent with regards to sort of like acting, because in 2022 everything was going so well and then it was all whipped away. So while I'm still watching all the stuff that I like, you know, I love comedy, I love, you know, Taskmaster's a big one over here, which I think has now sort of penetrated the US market in a way that people weren't expecting.
We're aware of it.
So it's worth a look if you fancy a laugh.
Oh, I'm not.
No, I obviously you're a tragedian of sorts.
No, it's called I'm a Patriot. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Well, you can watch the pilot that I made with Reggie Watts if you want.
Also, I'm not a patriot. This country right now.
But yeah, it's finding different avenues of things that I didn't necessarily look at, which is just sort of expanding my own skill set. Like, you know, it's a cliche, but like everyone being a multi-hyphenate these days.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to go, yeah, I'm an actor, but also I write stuff and I am a professional wrestling manager, the most hated man in Essex. And, you know, I'm a podcaster. I've got stuff going on. Like, you know, it's nice. So it's just broadening the palette, really. Yeah. And I'm grateful to you, obviously, Jeff, because, like, you know, our sort of link through what was formerly Unpopular Opinion, now Wideouts, it's exposed me to so many people stateside making podcasts, making content, and like you're a huge part of that. So I'm very grateful for that, because it's taught me a few things.
While I'm glad you're grateful, I would appreciate it if you did not listen to other podcasts besides mine.
I mean, obviously yours is on firm rotation, like constantly. Like whenever I'm like, I have it in my ears at night, just so I can.
It's like you're white.
Absorb.
Quite literally, if you look at the color of my skin here, white noise.
It is white noise.
I'm the palest, whitest man. I'm talking to a dude from Essex, and I look like a sheet of paper next to him.
You live in Los Angeles, dude.
There's so much sun. I don't know what's going on.
Like we've had our week of sun over here. Like we're now going to be retreating back into our holes.
Charlie, what have you been? I mean, obviously the Shakespeare stuff like that. Now, with all the hard work you're doing, are you watching, like, were you like, I got to check out Sinners or something like that? Because like, I just got to see what Michael B. Jordan is doing with this character and stuff like that, with his characters or.
Well, to catch up, actually.
I'll do whatever you want. My questions can off, dude.
All right. So first of all, Nick, that artwork, can you show them that artwork again on your Pop-Tarts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see it. Put it by your face, maybe. Yeah, there. For a second, it's somewhere. Put your hand there. Put your hand on it. Will you? There you go. There we go. Almost.
It's so you guys can't tell, but like Zoom is blowing it out because he's got the background turned off.
Right,
so
right.
That like he's doing like portrait mode kind of a thing.
But I see it right there. It's very retro, and I think that's what's going to make this Fantastic Four work. I am so.
I think
jazzed.
so too. Yeah.
Yeah, like that work right there. I'm so jazzed.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because of how all that work looks. I've been telling my friends left and right, I'm like, I think this one's gonna work because the other ones have not. And this one, I'm like super jazzed. And I'm not like a Marvel guy 100%, you know. Like I love Marvel, but I don't have the history. Like a friend of mine turned me onto it way late in life. And I think that's gonna be amazing. The other thing I was gonna say is dude, I was super jazzed. I did not realize until after I was done that I worked on Quiz Lady with Sandra Oh and Aquafina, and that was Paul Rubens' last movie. Besides
yeah,
my
that's
brain,
right.
I was so teary. I was like, "This is amazing!" I was like, "It's great." I'm such a nerd of what we do. Yeah, like, I'm such a fanboy. But to get back to it, like, yeah, Sinners was shot down here in New Orleans. In fact, the guy that sells in the building is a good friend. His name's David Maldonado. You know, and it was like, I remember it being called grilled cheese and, you know, helping people read for it and stuff like that. It's one of those things where I went to the theater specifically, actually the weekend, I think I got to Harlem, is where I live right now. I literally went to the theater and was like, I've got to watch Sinners. And I was just blown away. In fact, I cried during a musical kind of sequence they had.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the most amazing sequences.
It just brings you into this world throughout time. And it, without saying any more, I was like, I will rewatch this movie whenever it is on, because that is it. But as far as like watching film and television, I'm actually watching more live stuff right now.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm trying to focus on the stand-up side. Stand-up aside, I'm trying to focus on being present in the moment with other performers, and that mushy guru kind of stuff. New York is doing that for me right now. I mean, like, I'm truly happy where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm honored and happy that I've got a film coming out, and I'm honored and happy that I'm back here working and seeing friends tonight. And I am with you on that strike, Ethan. You know, the strike, not only that, you know, the pandy, the strike, and then, you know, all the stuff that happened subsequently. You know, it was very painful for a lot of us. And it's like, okay, where are we now? The people that were, you know, being offered roles are now taking roles that like we would audition for. Now we have to hope for the next tier of roles, etc. You know, it's tough.
It really taught me that how much our industry over here relies on Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like you don't think about it until it's completely taken away from you, and it's like, holy shit, like 70% of us aren't working anymore.
I have a friend who's been in a lot of comedies. Like, he's a comedic actor, and he got a job at a movie theater because he's just like, I still have to pay my bills. I'm not like, nobody's getting work right now.
Many such cases.
I would like to say, though, like, real quick, because I know I got to get you guys out of here, and I'm eternally grateful that I was able to get this juggled and not drop these balls, because I was desperate to have the three of you guys talking together here. Originally, I had Nick, Charlie, and then I was like, wait, I should absolutely add Ethan into here. Like, it was a no-brainer getting you guys in here. It's so fun. So a big shout out, and I'm going to say, please check out all these guys on social media. Charlie can be found at Charlie Talbert _performer. That's CharlieTalbert and then the word performer. Ethan is at Ethan D. Lawrence. That's ETHAN DLAWRENCE. And Nick, so much easier, Undead Guy. UNDEADGUY.
Well, and also I have another little side thing. I have the Surf Ninjas shop.
The Surf Ninjas shop. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so there's never been any merch. Like, really, there's been no merch for that film.
I got stickers from you.
Well, yeah, I made them. You know, that's the point. So nobody's done it. So I have the means and the skills to do so. So for the fans specifically, that got stuff. So
up next, be on the lookout. AngusShop.com. There's no Angus merch, so
we could do that.
We're gonna
spin off.
I really do love, by the way, like, that you guys had such wonderfully important movies to my idiot childhood as well. Like, Nick,
you know, funny enough, mine too.
Yeah, right. Nick, Ethan, Charlie, thank you so much, and thank you all for listening. Please definitely check these guys out, and buy some Pop-Tarts, watch some movies and TV shows, and listen to some podcasts. We love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and bye. And thank you all for listening. What an incredible opportunity. I absolutely loved each and every one of those moments. And I'm so loved that you were here and you listened to it. If you want to see me live, of course, and you live in Southern California, please head on over to Mint on Card with the second Friday of every month at Blast from the Past in beautiful Magnolia in Burbank, California. Check out Tom and Jeff Watch Batman on Gamefully Unemployed. And of course, all the stuff I do with Adam Todd Brown on the You Don't Even Like This network. You Don't Even Like Podcasts network. Did I just have a stroke? Maybe. You can follow me at Hey There Jeffro 2. That's HeyThereJeffro, and then the number 2 on the socials. And of course, follow the at Jeff Has Cool Cards YouTube page, where I Must Break Yous are every Wednesday. We do mailbags on Friday, and the more subscribers we get, the faster we can monetize, the more cards we get to open. I love you. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Be nice. Be kind. The world is falling apart and it's very cruel. Be the opposite of that. I love you all.
Hey everyone, our artwork is created by Justin T. Brown, who can be found at Artness by Justin Brown on Instagram, as well as artnessbyjustinbrown.com. That dope music you heard is by Troy Nababon, available at Troy Nababon on Instagram, as well as at troynababon.com.